When was the last time you said thank you and really meant it? On average, you will say thank you about 6 times per day. That's around 2,200 times in a year. We say it at the office, at home, and with your friends. But if we say it so often, how do we know that these words still hold their meaning? And if they don't, how can we give them more power? At the Rady School of Management at UC San Diego, Professor Chris Oveis studies how positive emotions, empathy, and emotion regulation promote social connection and high performance. In a study inspired by the TV show Shark Tank, Professor Oveis and his colleagues paired UC San Diego students into teams and asked them to pitch a new bicycle design to a panel of judges. Each team was only given 6 minutes to come up with a pitch.
We had 2 suite mates come together, 2 people who lived together to do a high-pressure task together. We gave them a fairly impossible task. We told them you have 6 minutes to design a product, to design a marketing plan for that product, and to design a 6-minute pitch for that product. What they didn't know is the evaluators who they were about to meet are the world's most stress-inducing, lack of positivity displaying evaluators out there. These evaluators were trained to withhold any sign of positivity. They would not nod. They would not say yes. They would not give any feedback. And you could immediately see the readout in the physiological responses of our participants. This was a stressful task for everyone.
Before the challenge, some teammates were instructed to thank one another.
The expressor of gratitude and the receiver of gratitude. Both people on the team showed improved cardiovascular activation. The real magic moment was seeing how that first receiver responded. Just watching their eyes light up, realizing that this person who they lived with, who they had maybe no idea, felt so deeply about them, felt so grateful toward them, said these things. You could just see their eyes light up. And this was a continual experience throughout the study, that people had this response of, wow, I didn't know that you recognized these tiny acts that I did as being meaningful to you. Wow, I didn't know that I meant that much to you as a person.
Circling back to the meaning behind our words, what are some things that we should think about when expressing our thanks?
A gratitude expression doesn't need to be super elaborate or reference the biggest act in the world. In fact, a really effective gratitude expression can be thanking someone for a really simple act. There's really only one way to get a gratitude expression wrong, and that is to do it inauthentically. And what I mean by that is, if you don't really feel gratitude and you're saying thank you to someone for something, that gets across. You seem inauthentic when you do it that way. If you want to improve your gratitude expressions, just let it out when you feel it. If you actually feel gratitude, then that is the time to express it.
Simply expressing your gratitude isn't always the most that we can do. As I asked earlier, what are some ways that we can preserve the intent behind our expressions so they don't just become another phrase in passing?
One interesting insight about a better way to express gratitude, and this comes from Sarah Aljo and her colleagues at the University of North Carolina, is to put the you in thank you. And what I mean by that is there's usually 2 parts of a gratitude expression. You can either really focus in on the benefit to the self, this really solved a need for me, or you can focus in on the other person, on the praiseworthiness of what they did, on how thoughtful they are, on how much time and effort they put into this. So when you put that you in thank you, it turns out that it has a more powerful effect on the receiver, on the relationship, and so on down the line. I think the most meaningful gratitude expressions are the ones where people really infer that there is a true emotion behind it that's driving it, that person really felt gratitude. I think the normal everyday thank yous for small tasks that maybe we think are part of the cultural script, maybe they're not going to move the needle in one direction or the other. I'm not trying to say thank you less and only express it when it's this big, powerful thank you that needs to come out. I'm just saying don't hold those in. Don't suppress your gratitude.
Professor Oveis further elaborated on why thinking about gratitude expressions are important at all. How can something that feels so simple and mundane have such a meaningful impact on our daily lives?
We have a really rich experience of emotions as humans. We experience all kinds of things. And we experience a wide variety of negative emotions. We experience a wide variety of positive emotions. For some reason, researchers over the years have just really keyed in on, let's understand the negative. Let's focus in on understanding anger and sadness and shame and fear. We really need to understand what it is that fundamentally connects people to one another. And that's where positive emotions come in. That's why I'm really interested in them. They are these things that bring people together. In the case of gratitude, that is an emotion that it reminds you of who these great relationship partners are. It tells them that you mean something to them. We bring our suffering into the workplace and we need support. We need to understand things like empathy and being responsive to our coworkers and really expressing gratitude. We need to understand things like the fact that positive emotions are contagious, and you can really build a positive, vibrant workplace through more positive expressions broadly.
Many of you will express your thanks thousands of times a year, but ask yourself, why are you saying thank you? Who are you saying it to? And are you saying it enough? Maybe it's up to you to notice when it's losing its meaning, and it will be up to you to make it feel real again. Because if gratitude can change how you feel, maybe it could also change how you live.